Alright folks, welcome back to the garden, the backyard, the homestead, the food forest, whatever we're calling it these days. I really don't care. Welcome back. So, over the last few days I have been working on building a nice retaining wall. So, beautiful little retaining wall. I'm going to do another one on that side. I already got like the first row done. I just ran out of blocks. But over on this side, there's Fig Alley over there. Right now there's 6 of the 8 figs that are really popping. The other 2 are either dead or they're focusing on the roots this year. And then on this side, the food forest is really starting to come along. A lot of onions, and I'm actually kind of glad I did the onions because down on that side of the food forest, especially like the last 2 or 3, no onions, and I had a lot of rabbit damage back there or something. But back to the point of this video. Right in this area, I am going to step back here, make sure I don't trip over anything. I'm going to turn this little area into a waterfall, pool, waiting area. Mainly just a big area. I want to have a waterfall off the retaining wall into a little splash pad, a stream bog filter type of thing. A nice little stream that comes rolling down into the bigger area. And in the bigger area, what I want is probably like a little maybe 8x8, 8x10 area on one side, kind of like a beach, kind of like where you could, maybe just put your toes into if you want to, but it also kind of gives like the birds and the bees and stuff like that place to land and drink out of the water, because that's kind of a big deal. I've had my neighbors say that the bees have kind of got into their pool, even though after they said that, I kind of gave them some like little bee watering stations, but that's never a guarantee. Neither is this pond, so it is what it is, right? So giving them that little area, almost like, it's easier, so kind of like a little beachy area right here. Kind of step down into like a little, maybe like a 2-foot deep area. That way, kind of a bigger area. Maybe like around that area, like a 2-foot deep area that you can kind of like just stand in there, maybe like knee deep or so. And then towards the front of it, where the stream is coming in, more of a deep area, maybe an underground bench, maybe on that side. That way you can look over through the food forest. If there's a fire going, you can see the fire going, maybe, depending on how big the forest gets going. And like I said, a little stream bog winding its way up to the waterfall, and that's what I'm working on today. So the retaining wall, don't mind the fact that there's nothing behind it right now. The retaining wall, it's built 6 layers high. Between the 5th and 6th layer, I have geogrid that will go back to the backfill and whatnot. However, this is my little 2-foot spillway, and I want the spillway to be just over this lip. That way it's not hitting the block. It's going to come over, land into the splash pad here. So what I need to do now is I'm going to get set up here, and I'm going to, cut a couple blocks that are just a couple inches, where it's probably just the faces of the block. I don't want to cut into that next block to get this further down, because it really doesn't leave much meat on that block. So probably whatever capstone I decide to do, I might cut out of the capstone. That way this is as high as it possibly can. And speaking of capstone, they do make capstone for this type of block, but I'll be using a lot of this stonework in the pond. So I'm wondering if that might not look better as a capstone as well. Let me see here. See if I can do this one-handed. So let's have this. Kind of like that. Maybe a little bit of a lip to it. That way I can stash maybe some LED lights underneath it or something. But that will kind of, as you get further back, that'll kind of blend in, because you'll have the capstone, and then you'll have the rock that's in the waterfall and the stream all being that same kind of rock. We'll play with it here, but today, right now, we're going to focus on getting this cut out. So I'm going to start that process, and I'll bring you guys back as soon as I get that done. Alright folks, so that is all done. Before I flip you guys around, I want to talk about cost real quick. So I've used roughly 180 of these retaining block at $1.50. That's about $270. No delivery fee because I went to go pick it up myself. And then the waterfall spillway bought on Amazon for $175. And the capstone that I decided to end up using was stuff that has been laying around in the yard already. There actually was like half-hearted retaining wall when I first moved in, and that's where most of these caps came from. Tore it up. Some of it's actually still in place, and once I get ready to backfill, I'll completely tear up all of them. But let me go ahead and turn you guys around and show you the finished product as of right now. Alright, so here it is. Got the retaining block and the capstone. Did you guys see the waterfall in there? Alright, well, it's right there.
Oh, okay, so it's right there.
So yeah, that's it right there, guys. I did try to stick a hose in there and see how it's going to spill over, and yeah, hose is not enough gallons per minute or per hour. And the other thing is it's probably not quite level yet, so I did leave enough room in the block to where I could shove a shim on either side of it to kind of raise it and level it as I need to, because yeah, I'm not ready yet, so it still needs to be hooked up, still needs to be plumbed, all that kind of stuff. Let me see if I can turn you guys around again. So overall, I think it's looking pretty good. I did move the wood chips back up against the wall over there. Have not done it over here on this side, but this is what we're looking at so far. When I bring you guys back, I will start either figuring out where I'm gonna put the patio on this side. I gotta figure out layout. That's what's gonna happen next. Layout. Gotta get all this stuff moved somewhere. Get it all probably mowed really tight. That way I can get some marking spray and get going here. But yeah, this is what it's looking like so far, guys. If you guys are wondering, the 4 small figs in the front here, they're violet debris, and then I got a Chicago Hardy right there, Chicago Hardy right there. The 2 ones that are dead looking right now, they're Olympia figs. If I was to go on this side, like I said, tons of onions, 2 pawpaws and a currant. Dead stick right there is a currant. Dead stick in the center is a black apple. Another currant, another apple. That's Johnny Red Apple, and then Viking Ronia berry right there. Onions on the outside, and then on the inside, fava beans. So, alright, that's as much as I'm going to give you guys of a tour of the garden. Sun's getting ready to go down. Fire's still smoldering, and it's time for me to get some food in me. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.